Gandhi has much to answer for.
Well, I haven't read the judgment yet. I haven't read the judgment of the trial court convicting Rahul Gandhi. But he has got the maximum sentence under law for that offence. 2 years is the maximum, so he's got that. Whether that was warranted or not, one can only say, or whether one has a view on that, one can't opine without seeing the judgment.
But in your sense, criminal defamation per se, do you believe it's the kind of law that should be there in the statute books? In many parts of the world, it's being struck off. For Rahul Gandhi, should he be facing the law as it stands in your view? Or do you believe criminal defamation per se is bad in law?
Well, he's violated the law as it stands. So he has to face the violation unless he gets it set aside by the appellate court. But formally I was of the view that we don't need a criminal defamation law. Subramanian Swamy took it all the way to the Supreme Court and he didn't succeed. The criminal defamation law is very much on the statute books as of now, notwithstanding that people are calling it a colonial law. But it is on the statute been upheld by the Supreme Court. Its constitutionality has been upheld by the Supreme Court. So that now it's only the legislature that can, remove Section 499 and 500.
But because from it, Mr. Jethmalani, flows the big questions. Should Rahul Gandhi be disqualified as a member of parliament? Technically, the Lily Thomas case of 2013 in the Supreme Court, he can face disqualification the moment he is convicted for up to 2 years as he has been. In your own view, for a case like criminal defamation, should the Speaker move to disqualify a member of parliament? Is this a fit case for disqualification?
Well, this thing about one law for parliamentarians and one law for the others somehow doesn't resonate with me, Rajdeep. If there's a law, then it should apply equally to everybody, right? I'm not saying that I agree with criminal defamation, right? But it has been challenged, as I said, and it's been upheld. Now, if then we are all bound, we are all, duty bound to obey the law and see that we don't fall foul of it, otherwise we face the consequences. Rahul Gandhi seems to have, the problem with Rahul Gandhi is that he does this once too often. So, nobody's going to empathize with them. You make all kinds of statements every time, and I'm not so worried about the law, but sometimes you feel that the abuse, the level of discourse in politics has gone so bad that, perhaps somebody who's a repeat offender and he's got more than one case pending against him, maybe it's a good way to bring people in the political domain down to earth and, stop venting their anger by abusive foul language. And I'm not saying that this is only peculiar to Rahul Gandhi. Please don't get me wrong. It's across the board. But Rahul seems to fall foul of this law very frequently. He's a very angry young man who says extremely abusive things
but
out of,
but Mr. Jethmalani, taking off from what you're saying, that he's not the only one who's accused of making reckless statements in the past in the political domain. There are others in your own party who made reckless statements, defamatory statements, but we've never heard of them getting convicted for 2 years in a criminal defamation case. So there would be those who will argue the law doesn't seem to operate equally for all.
Well, it all depends how diligent a complaint is. Somebody called me a thief, I would pursue it with a passion to see that the man either apologizes or goes to jail. Rahul Gandhi didn't apologize, so he had to face the heat. He seemed to be above apologies, unless the Supreme Court in the Rafael case extracted it from him.
But
they made him apologize.
But you almost seem to be suggesting, therefore, Mr. Jethmalani, that Rahul Gandhi must pay the price and get disqualified for criminal defamation. I repeat that there are many politicians, including in your own party, who then should also be facing the heat of defaming their political rivals.
See, Rajdeep, the problem is in situations like this, when one political leader faces the legal heat, right? The whole debate gets skewed. The point is, he's fallen foul of a law that is valid at the moment, constitutionally valid. Right? Nobody can. He has a remedy. It's very simple. He has a remedy. Whether other people may fall foul of it, etc. How does it matter? They may. So far, they haven't because nobody is prosecuting the case with diligence, right? So this guy, the fellow who filed the case against Rahul Gandhi, has been at it since 2019. The statement for which he's got his conviction today was during the election of 2019, where he said something very absurd, like all Modis are thieves or all thieves are Modis, something like that. Right? Now, that's the most impolitical and ridiculous statement. I mean, you brand an entire class, in this case, a class of people bearing the surname Modi. Every one of them will feel aggrieved. So look at, I mean, you're framing the question wrongly.
No.
Does that behove a person who claims to be the Prime Minister?
No, but
Mr.
Mr. Jethmalani, I repeat, you've seen in the past various leaders, including Prime Minister Modi when he was Chief Minister of Gujarat, 2002, Hum Panch, Hamare 25, a reference many believe that was clearly to Muslims. We've seen Gali Gali mein shor hai, Rajiv Gandhi chor hai during Bofors. Politicians use harsh language against their political rivals. In that context, does Rahul Gandhi's crime constitute 2 years? Or is it simply opening the floodgates? Others have gotten away in the past. Now Rahul Gandhi must face the music.
No, there were no prosecutions in the other case. Where were the prosecutions? I don't remember anybody saying anything about any prosecutions, right? I never read any prosecutions against the Prime Minister. Nobody prosecuted him for defamation for anything he said. On the contrary, they took it to a different level. They tried to implicate him something we now found he was totally innocent of. They tried to implicate him in fomenting the Gujarat riots. So, this is now the constitutionally valid law. There's no point putting on a higher pedestal or putting it or using whataboutery. All right. The fact is, the level of political discourse has come down a lot. And that's unfortunate. 2 judges of the Supreme Court have remarked upon it, that the level of political discourse needs to significantly improve. So maybe this is a wake-up call. Maybe Rahul Gandhi is the scapegoat for this wake-up call now, that people will be more careful. And Rahul Gandhi himself. And Rahul Gandhi is not the best example because he has done it repeatedly. He has 3 cases pending against him, Rajdeep, don't forget, for defamation.
Okay.
So maybe he's the best example for this improvement in political discourse.
Okay. Mahesh Jethmalani, appreciate your joining us. You've given us your perspective. We've heard 2 legal eagles in the political frame giving 2 very different perspectives. Abhishek Manu Singhvi saying excessive, first-time offence, substantively wrong. Mahesh Jethmalani in a way suggesting that Rahul Gandhi must pay the price. This is the statute, and as per the statute, 2 years is the maximum punishment, and an example in a way is being made out. Let's widen this. This is becoming bigger by the moment because there is the real threat that the Congress leader could be disqualified. Is Rahul Gandhi martyr or is he criminal? Is this a misuse of defamation law? Is Rahul Gandhi paying the price for making a reckless speech or a reckless observation? Is Rahul Gandhi's disqualification now a real possibility? Joining me now is Nalin Kohli, lawyer and BJP spokesperson, senior lawyer and spokesperson, Gaurav Gogoi, Congress MP, Sanjay Jha, formerly of the Congress, suspended but very close in a way to the party, and Rahul Srivastava, National Affairs Editor, to give us a political perspective. Let's get each of you to respond. First to you, Nalin Kohli. You've just heard Mahesh Jethmalani and Abhishek Manu Singhvi. In your view, do you believe that this seems, as Dr. Singhvi argues, an excessive judicial order designed in a way to target Rahul Gandhi? The Congress seems to suggest Rahul Gandhi is being targeted by the government of the day. Your response?
Who's Rahul Gandhi? He's just another citizen of this country. He's not above the law. He's not over Article 14. If you behave irresponsibly, you have to pay the price. That applies to you, me, anyone on this panel. Is Rahul Gandhi, for being just because he's Rahul Gandhi, born in a particular family, that he's above the law? I think this is the Congress is trying to make virtue of a situation they don't like. And they shouldn't be there in the first place. But if you look at Rahul Gandhi, he's a repeat, if I may use the word, offender in terms of constantly shooting off his mouth. and coming up with statements that certainly have no basis. What's the statement here? Sare Modi chore hai. I mean, how can you say that about it? Now change the word Modi and put any other person's surname, and would it make it less offensive? I mean, Sardesai's, Kohli's, Gogoi's, anybody else?
Abhishek Manu Singhvi
goes
says,
ahead and makes a
Abhishek
statement.
Manu
Was there a
Singhvi
need to
says
make
that
the
the person, Abhishek Manu Singhvi says the person concerned who filed the defamation case had no locus. This is a statement made in Kolar. It's a statement saying
What
Nirav
is
Modi,
locus?
Lalit Modi, Narendra Modi, but the person who filed the complaint has no locus.